Hello, today in class we will go over an example that involves 3 decimal numbers. And these 3 decimal numbers need to be brought to a common denominator. There's nothing complicated here, even if you have 3 decimal numbers, 4, 5, and so on. The procedure for finding a common denominator for fractions remains unchanged and consistent with previous algorithms. Okay, let's break it down for you with an example. All right, first example and decimal numbers. A sum of 3 parts out of a total of 5 combined with 8 parts out of a total of 15, along with one additional fraction, which is equivalent to a value of 7/10. Let us ensure that the denominator is the same. What actions are we taking in order to achieve this goal? Let us remember our algorithm. The simplest algorithm for finding a common denominator is the easiest method. So first things first, we need to find the least common multiple for the numbers 5, 15, and 10. We choose the bigger of these numbers. This is 15. Does 15 divide by 5? Yeah, divided by 5. Does 15 divide by 10? No, doesn't split. What to do? I am 15 years old and then I multiply it by 2 to get 30. After that, I am checking the result. Does 30 divide by 5? Yeah, it's a split. Does 30 divide by 15? Yeah, everything's good to go. Does 30 divide by 10? Yeah, it's a split. So the least common multiple is 30. Therefore, we will use 30 as our common denominator for all the fractions in the problem. Second, what do I need to do? I need to write down the additional factors, such as my little hint regarding what I have to multiply the numerator and denominator by. What am I doing for this thing? I am going to divide 30 by 5. It's going to be 6, and I'll write down this 6 here. After 30, I'll divide by 15. I am obtaining 2, and I will jot down this f here. Following that, I will divide 30 by 10, and I come to the final result of 3. And I will position this trio of elements next to the third fraction in the sequence. So what did we accomplish in the end? I'm attempting to recall what I require to do. I need to perform the multiplication of 6 by 3 and 6 by 5. We should write it down without delay. 6 multiplied by 3 is going to be 18, and 6 multiplied by 5 is going to be 30. Next, I multiply 2 by 8. Let us write it down. The product of 2 and 8 is going to be equal to 16. And if I multiply 2 by 15, the result will be 30. Additionally, we have one more decimal number. When we multiply 3 by 7, we get 21. And if we multiply 3 by 10, the result will be 30. Consequently, I ultimately obtained fractional numbers, all of which possess the same denominator, which happens to be 30 in every case. To reiterate, if you are searching for the least common multiple, which is the smallest common denominator, then the smallest common denominator you should consider would be 30. To find a common multiple for the numbers 5, 15, and 10, you can obtain the number 60 or 90 and so on, continuing this pattern indefinitely. By identifying the smallest common multiple, you ensure that all 3 numbers are divisible by the same value, making calculations more efficient and problem solving easier. So you can reduce it to these common denominators and you will still accomplish your goal. So you'll have the same denominator, but in math it's customary to bring it down to the lowest common denominator. So make sure to write down the numbers with the smallest denominator because they are convenient to work with. We'll break down these actions with you, bringing them to the lowest common denominator. However, if you reduce it to 60 or 90, there will be no errors during the process of execution. The only thing is, the numbers will be larger. On the next lesson, we'll cover more examples of finding a common denominator. That's it for today. Goodbye.